It's Tyler back in the car for a Requel pitch. And we're talking Wednesday. Now, Wednesday, as of this recording, because I have no idea when this is going to come out, Wednesday Season 2 has officially dropped all episodes. The wife and I started it, but then the kids have been wanting to watch it. So we went back and we started watching Season 1. So we're just going to watch Season 1 into Season 2 with the kids and do it all like that. And it got me thinking, what is wrong with this show? And so here we are with a Requel pitch. Now, first of all, the Addams Family has a history of always evolving. The origin, based on the comic strips of Charles Addams, where it was just comic strips that appeared in the New Yorker. And then over time, we got different incarnations. The Addams Family had an animated series. It had the live action show in the 60s. And for my generation, the films in the early 90s by Barry Sonnenfeld, starring Angelica Houston, Raul Julia, Christopher Lloyd, and Christina Ricci, were staples and really cemented a little bit more of a darker take on the Addams Family. But they were never supernatural beings. Okay? They're not supernatural creatures. They're just people. They like the macabre. They're strange. They're kooky. They're gothic. But they're people. Okay. So, we now go to Alfred Gough and Miles Miller. Sorry, he's not Mark Millar. Miles Miller, the creators of such my favorite, Smallville. Okay. So, I'm already going to see parallels there, but I'm looking like, man, this is Tim Burton, director of Batman Returns, and so many other amazing films. Beetlejuice. The list goes on and on. Not Nightmare Before Christmas. That was directed by Henry Selznick. It was based off a poem and created by Tim Burton, but not directed. So, you think, the history wasn't Tim Burton wanted to do the Addams Family, but was unable to. And I don't remember all the reasons why, but look at the time frame. There's other things going on. So Barry Sonnenfeld did the film, and Burton did not get to. So this is kind of his chance, but I still feel like in a lot of ways it's not what Tim Burton would have done with the Addams Family. I feel like he's just, he's producing and he's directing a couple of episodes. He's not actively writing. It's just, something for him to do almost like. But let's look at some things that can make, I think, Wednesday a better show than what it is. So if you haven't watched at least season 1, you're going to want to at least check that out enough for the show to enjoy this conversation. So hold on, go watch it, and come back. So first of all, the casting is great, okay? Having more of a Latino-esque ethnic cast, that's fine. Gomez was never really settled. I mean, Raul Julia, greatest Gomez there ever was Puerto Rican, I believe. Amazing. Okay, so let's just get that out the bag first, okay, before people start complaining. Second of all, Luis Guzman as Gomez, he looks like original Gomez, okay? Gomez was always short and pudgy. It wasn't until we got classy, more refined, sexy Raul Julia that Gomez really, elevated. He was always kind of dorky. But the thing that gets me is the premise of her going to Nevermore Academy. I like Nevermore Academy in general. Based off Edgar Allan Poe, beautiful. But that I hate, for outcasts. Okay, I don't like the way they use the term outcast in the show. Yes, Wednesday and them should be an outcast. Someone who's different from normal society, who's made to feel on the outs, but they're not supernatural. So the way the show operates is There's outcasts from Nevermore. Okay? But they're supernatural beings. We have vampires and werewolves and gorgons and hides and all this other stuff that the town knows exists. So we live in a world that just knows about these creatures and they're okay with it. They're just outcasts because they're different, but nobody's against them. And then you have Wednesday, who, for all reasons being, is normal. We have shapeshifters. This is like Tim Burton wanted to make a sequel to his Mrs. Peregrine's School, but couldn't, and made this instead. But how much better? How do you be an outcast and different in a school full of people who are different? Well, the thing is, you just go back to common, normal social cues. Like, it's just like, how are you normal in a school when you're normal, but just maybe you're different because you like different things or you're into different things than everyone else is. So how much stronger of a story do we get if we have a Wednesday Addams, all right, who goes to Nevermore Academy, which is a prep school for intelligent children. And it's a little bit more like a English-esque prep school. And everything's kind of the same, except they're not gorgons and sirens. They're just kids, rich kids. And Wednesday is like the outcast because she is who she is. And then some sort of supernatural type mystery happens, and she has to solve it. So you can still do kind of the Hyde storyline, but now, like, you don't have like all these other supernatural creatures, and like they even reference her ancestor being a witch and stuff. Like, that's not the Addams Family. Now, if we want to get into Wednesday having some psychic vision sometimes, okay, I can kind of roll with that. Okay, we're moving the plot a little bit forward. We're changing some things up a little. Okay. But as I've seen a little bit about a hint of season 2 with electricity, man, what the hell? Anyways, so that's my problem, is you have the Addams Family. Now, if they're discovered, like, if you had them Wednesday kind of running the show like it is, but like discovering like, oh, there was a vampire or there's a werewolf, or she has a friend who's a werewolf, Enid, and that's why Enid is there, because her family thinks something's wrong with her. Okay, but like the fact that they just kind of like, oh yeah, werewolves, that's cool. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she's a vampire. She's a gorgon. He's a gorgon siren. And then Edgar Allan Poe. Why? Edgar Allan Poe wasn't supernatural. He was just a normal. So it really makes me feel that somewhere along the way, they had an idea, and then somebody came along and was like, no, we're going to add another layer to this thing. And they decided to go ahead and throw in the supernatural. I don't know. All I know is it's like a good show to a point. Like, my kids are digging it. I want to love it. I just like it. I like the Addams Family. The animated films were serviceable, but not the greatest, but could have been better. And I just really want more true to the characters, I guess, with just the world they live in, where they're kind of the oddballs and not... I mean, she's still kind of an oddball because she doesn't have powers, but that's not really hinted at and brought forth. So I don't know. I don't like the way they use the term outcast. I don't like how normal all these, more monster-based children people are in a world for the Addams Family, unless the story was the Addamses were like a protector, and we met an Addams who ran the school, who was like, it was a secret, a school that was like protection from them. But then it's like this whole Wednesday Nevermore thing is like somebody just took Wicked and Harry Potter and used the Addams Family to make their own series. So there it is. That's, basically what it is. But that's my thought pitch. Comment below.